Direct instructions on how to practice the mountain retreat teachings, explained in a manner that is easy to understand by Kyabje Dujam Rinpoche.
With the greatest devotion, I take refuge and prostrate myself at your feet, glorious and noble Guru, in all your incomparable kindness. Through your blessing, may a completely undistorted understanding of the profound path be swiftly born deep within the minds of myself and my followers, and may we all attain the primordial stronghold of the Dharmakaya within this very life. Now, as a result of their aspirations in previous lives, combined with their own purified karma, some fortunate individuals have arrived at a point where they have full confidence in the profound and secret great perfection and the Guru who reveals it, and they wish to follow their practice through to the end. As an opening for them, here is the explanation, handed straight over and easy to understand, of the quintessential mountain retreat teachings, which are the vital directions on how to practice the most secret great perfection. There are 3 topics to be understood. 1. The groundwork. How to cut through all entanglement in desire and attachment, turn our mind towards the Dharma, and purify and transform our basic character. 2. The main practice. How to cut off all misconceptions and doubts about view, meditation, and action, and straighten out our practices. 3. Continuing the practice in life. How to keep the Samya vows and precepts intact, and wind up the activities of this life with the Dharma. Kyema, this restless flickering awareness, which we call our mind, appeared in the beginning at the very same moment as Samantabhadra. Even so, it is he who is liberated, since he knows himself, whereas we sentient beings wander astray in endless saṃsāra because we do not recognize our own true nature. The number of forms we have taken on in the 6 realms is countless, and everything that we have done up to now has been pointless and in vain. So now that we have a human form, a 1 in a million chance, if we do not put into practice the one and only means of avoiding birth in the lower realms of saṃsāra, then once we are dead, there is no saying where we will be reborn. However, in whichever of the 6 realms we might be born, we shall not have passed beyond the reach of frustration and suffering. Yet simply to have this human form is not enough. As death could come at any time, the sincere and true practice of Dharma must be started right now. Then at the moment of death, we need to be like Jetsun Milarepa, free from even the slightest trace of guilt or shame. The Dharma of Milarepa, my way, he would say, is to live and die without regrets. Then, should you take up the practice of Dharma, it is not enough merely to ape customary behavior and act out the Dharma in form alone. It is vital to cut off all entanglement in the objects of desire and attachment that are bound up with the activities we focus on in this life. If that break is not made, and you have made a half-hearted start on the practice of Dharma with a dithering, hesitant mind, still attached to things such as home, money, possessions, family, and friends, then these thoughts of attachment will become a cause, and the objects of attachment a contributory cause. These 2 are brought together and put into action through the agency of Mara, which is the obstacle. Then, mixing yet again with those bent on worldly pursuits, you will end up doing things that go contrary to the Dharma. So be a loser when it comes to food, clothing, and conversation. Give up attachment to the 8 worldly concerns, and resolutely turn your mind towards the Dharma. You should be like Gyalwa Yangompa, who said, "In a solitary hermitage, which is the acute awareness of death, the practitioner who has a deep revulsion for attachment makes his retreat, which is mentally renouncing this life, and his mind does not meet the 8 worldly concerns. Otherwise, mixing Dharma with the 8 worldly concerns is like eating food mixed with poison. It is courting disaster." In a nutshell, The essence of all these 8 worldly concerns is expectation or hope and fear, which are really none other than attachment and aversion. Internally, they are attachment and aversion. Externally, they appear in the guise of gyalpo and senmo. As long as the mind is not free from attachment and aversion, it will never be free from gyalpo and senmo, and there will be no end to the obstacles that will arise. So examine yourself again and again to see whether the 8 worldly concerns, self-importance, and desire for the things of this life are there, lurking in the recesses of your mind. If so, make a concentrated effort to rid yourself of such faults. Prolonging an appetite for the 8 worldly concerns whilst putting on a show of spirituality and even earning your keep by perpetrating such fraud is really a perverse way of life. There is a saying, by leaving home, half of the Dharma is accomplished. So say goodbye to your home and wander without any set aim in mind to unfamiliar places. Make a good break with friends and relatives and pay no attention should they criticize the Dharma and try to divert you from your path. Give away all your money and possessions as charity and let your daily needs be sustained by whatever comes your way. Recognizing all things that stimulate desire as obstacles that can become addictive, strengthen your mind to be free of desire. Just like with money and possessions, as long as you cannot be content with a little, then once you have one thing, you will have to have another. So with any object that stimulates desire, and then it is no problem for the seductive ploys of Mara to succeed. As for what people might say about you, do not take it to heart as true or bother to deny it or approve it out of hope or fear. As if they were talking about someone who was already dead and buried, let them say whatever they want. Do not follow the guidance of anyone except a qualified guru, even of your loved ones who might advise you in all sincerity. Know your limits. Do not overrate yourself. Be independent. Do not give people the chance to lead you round like a pet with a ring through your nose. Cultivate a tolerant and spacious attitude towards others, and honor your friendships by being considerate and harmonious, without always singeing people's noses and abusing them. Even if someone does become an obstacle to your practice, no matter how powerful or influential he may be, remain immovable, like a rock of iron tugged by a silken ribbon. It will not do at all to be unstable and easily swayed, like grass on a hillside that bends to and fro whichever way the wind blows. From the very beginning of your practice, whatever it might be, until you reach the end, carry it through exactly as you had originally intended, vowing not to break your promise, no matter what happens. Whether a bolt of lightning strikes you from above, the sea engulfs you from below, rocks drop on you from all sides, or death itself comes upon you. Right from the start, don't fall into bad habits, but progressively build up a disciplined routine with regular periods of practice, sleep, relaxation, and meal times. In particular, in any practice, however elaborate or simple, allow no opportunities for irregularities and pursue the practice without any breaks, at an even pace, and without wasting a single moment. For the retreat itself, the door of your hut can be sealed with clay. If it is not, do not meet others face to face, lose your silence, or spy out and look for activity. Let the restless wandering mind calm down, then breathe out the stale air and take up the correct posture. The mind must be firmly centered in mindful awareness, like a stake hammered into a field, and you should be able to remain there without even an instant's distraction. The outcome of outer, inner, and secret retreats, if strictly observed, will be that all the signs of attainment and realization will swiftly appear. You might think, now that so-and-so has turned up on very important business, I'll go to meet them and have a word with them. Once they're gone, I'll get back to my strict routine again. If you make an exception of this sort, you are throwing away the intensity and power of the practice. It will get more and more loose, sloppy, and careless.
On the other hand, if you decide from the very beginning to stand firm with the utmost determination, your practice will become more and more disciplined, and it will not be swept away by obstacles. Though there are numerous ways of recognizing the special characteristics of a place for a hermitage, generally speaking, any place that has been empowered by the presence of siddhas of the past, like Guru Rinpoche, that is not the haunt of samaya breakers, where necessities are easily come by, and like conditions are favorable for one's physical and mental health, is eminently suitable. Going into the cemeteries and wild, terrifying places where malicious local spirits dwell, if you can subdue them through your spiritual strength, this will speed up the fulfillment of outer and inner auspicious conditions, tendril, and give a tremendous impetus to your meditation. If, on the other hand, you cannot subdue them, there will be many obstacles. When you can transmute them within the vast expanse of realization, all hostile circumstances appear as friends and helpers. Then there is nothing better than performing your secret practice in places like cemeteries. Generally, refrain from any noise and busyness, whether outside or within the mind, and simply remain perfectly at ease, effortlessly. This is the true essential solitude or hermitage. The actual purification of our basic character is effected in the ordinary preliminary by the 4 causes of renunciation of saṃsāra, and in the extraordinary preliminary by taking refuge, the generation of bodhicitta, purifying defilements and obscurations, vajrasattva practice, and accumulating merit and wisdom, the mandala offering. Following the instructions on Gundro preliminary practice, apply yourself to each of these in turn until you have personally experienced the truth of them. In particular, it is vital to put all your energy into the Guru Yoga, holding on to it as the life and heart of the practice. If you do not, then your meditation will be very dull, and even if you make a little progress, there will be no end to obstacles, and no possibility of true, genuine realization being born within the mind. Therefore, by fervently praying with uncontrived devotion, after a while, the direct blessing of the Guru's wisdom mind will be transmitted, empowering you with a unique realization, beyond words, born deep within your mind. Lama Zhang Rinpoche declared, "Sustain stillness, sustain the flow of inner experience, sustain samadhi meditation." Though there are many such words of advice, yet rare indeed is that realization born within through the Guru's blessing, invoked by the power and strength of devotion. So a full understanding and realization of the true essence of the great perfection depends entirely on these preliminary practices, Nandra. For as J. Drikungpa said, other teachings stress the profundity of the main practice, but here we stress the profundity of the preliminaries, and that is just how it is.